What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new league racing video here today. We're back for EML F1, this time for round number 3, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Coming into this, I can't lie, I didn't have high expectations at all, because I had done bugger all practice for this, as I'm sure quite a few of you would know. I was spending an awful lot of time on GT Sport getting ready for round 1 of the Manufacturer Series, and yeah, that occupied a lot of my time, so I only did about half a dozen laps, I think, before we jumped into this. So yeah, half a dozen laps of practice around Baku and then straight into a league race. Doesn't sound like the best combination imaginable, does it? But yeah, anyway, we'll see what we can do. Championship standings after round 2 last time out at Bahrain. I'm just trying to memorise. I think it's M Short on top on 40. Then it's one of the Alfa Romeos, I think, on 38. And then myself and Venom are tied in third on 32 points respectively. So only 8 points separating the top 4 after 2 rounds. So it's pretty close at the sharp end, it must be said. But anyway, getting back on with qualifying. Our first lap, as you can see here, not really going to plan, and that tops it off. We go straight into the wall and knock the right hand end plate off. So that is that lap basically out the window. And I guess that's what happens when you show up without a lot of practice, isn't it? Stuff doesn't exactly go the way you want. But anywho, we abandoned that lap. Obviously, I wanted to save that set of tyres if there was a late safety car or something. So come back in, put a new set of softs on, and we're out for our second run on the session. But our first actual lap time that's going to go up on the board, I think it's going to be about a mid 37 or something. This lap wasn't perfect, was pretty scruffy to be honest. And yep, there we go, come across the line for a 137.487. Not ideal. I know for a fact I can do a 36. I think for TTML I did a 36.8 around here. I did have a tow up this 55-mile long back straight, or front straight, beg your pardon, but I know I can do a 36 on my own, so let's see if we can get it here on the final run for quali. Alright, and now it's just a waiting game really, all the way up to the finish line. We're up by 2.5 tenths, so we should improve to a 37.2 as we come across the line, and we do. Fastest lap 37.226. M Short is on a lap behind us though, and I did expect him to go faster than us, to be honest, as that lap was not good by any stretch of the imagination. The Williams crosses the line and he goes to pole position on a 37.207, less than 0.02 of a second between us, so a very close qualifying. in the end there between ourselves and them short. And yeah, he grabs pole position here for round number 3. So good job there from the Williams driver. As Cagino there in P3 in the AlphaTauri. I think, I could be wrong, but I think he's actually a reserve. So very nicely done from him there. What's he got? 37.6. So that's a pretty good lap. Only 4/10 off. I mean, granted, you know, our laps were pretty bad, both of them, and yeah, could have and should have done a lot better. But anyway, we're on the front row alongside the championship leader, so we can definitely make something happen from here. Anyway, looking at strategy now, it's a fairly straightforward one-stop around here. Pit about lap 5, lap 6, and you can get hards to the end. You could run to maybe lap 7, lap 8, I think, if you wanted, and try and run mediums, but I really don't think that works. I think the earliest you can pit for mediums is probably lap 10 or something, from memory. I'm just trying to remember the Premier Series around here, because I actually did that exact strategy where we started on the hards, and then I had to pit for mediums a lot earlier than what I wanted, and only barely got to the end. So yeah, strategy can be a little bit of a weird one around here. The number one thing that you always need to focus on, however, is just keeping your front wing intact. If you can do that, then your whole race is going to be that much easier. But as I said before, it's easy to sit back and say it's, you know, it's easy enough to do, but when you're out here racing, it's very easy to just chip a bit of the front wing off, and next thing you know, your race is over. So let's try and avoid that, shall we? Here we go. 5 red lights. And away we go for the Baku Grand Prix. Those lights were held on for bloody ever. But looks like a pretty decent start. Down into turn 1, we get ever so close to Cagino there in the AlphaTauri, but he runs right around the outside of us and takes P2, so we've already dropped a spot, and Prix are right behind us there as well in the racing point. Now already at this stage I can say I was not liking how the car felt. I could already tell just by the first 2 turns. I really wasn't a fan of how this Mercedes felt. Azerbaijan, never been a real strong track for me. I think just the consistency is really what's kept me in it in a lot of races around here. So hopefully we can play that to our advantage again here today. But about halfway through lap 1 as we come into the castle section, let's see if we all get through. 1, 2, 3, Creaser comes through behind, and well, I was going to say so does Charlie Harris, but apparently not. He's bottled it in the in the castle there. Completely forgot what it was called there. You love it when that happens. But anyway, so virtual safety car came out, and as you can see at the start of lap 2, that has now been revoked. So we're back to green flag racing, and we timed that VSC restart kind of poorly, as we're actually out of the 1 second window of the 2 leaders. So yeah, we need to get our head down here and get back within that 1 second window. Otherwise our race is going to be a lot harder than what it really needs to be. We were able to do that, luckily enough. As you can see, the gap's about 8/10, so we're back within the 1 second window. DRS won't be enabled this time here on the front straight, but it should be out of turn 2. So we'll see what happens there, if we can maybe make a move on Cagino. Unfortunately, that did not materialise, as about 10 seconds after I said that, another virtual safety car came out. There was another retirement, I'm not too sure where, but no sooner did it come out and it's disappeared. So we're back green flag racing once again, and yeah, just trying to settle into a little bit of a rhythm at this point. M Short was running a semi-quick pace. I think I could have been going a bit faster, but obviously it's early days, and you don't want to take unnecessary risks around this place, as if you make one little mistake, it will make you pay severely for any slight lock up, any bit of understeer, oversteer, or any little 2-cent problem like that can very quickly materialise into something a lot worse. But yeah, we've avoided that so far. To the end of lap 3, on to the end of lap 5 now, and Kagino is going to peel in for what I'm guessing would be a set of hard tyres. If he peels in for a set of mediums, he's got to be 2-stopping. But anyway, we'll carry on up behind M Short now, and Kagino did actually get the race lead on lap 4. So the AlphaTauri, although his qualifying pace didn't really show it, has got a very good race car underneath him, it seems. So Kagino doing very well for himself here so far here at Baku. But for us, as you can see, the car is just all over the place, and I have to be honest, I've been struggling to find a nice Azerbaijan setup that works for qualifying and the race. I mean, the one that I'm running here now for this race felt really nice in qualifying, and granted, it felt really nice after the pit stops, but at the start of the race when we're on the soft tyres, the car just felt absolutely horrible. So yeah, I'm not too sure what to do about that, but yeah, got a bit of work to do on the setup front around this joint. But anyway, we re-emerge, however, back on track in P4. I think that's Kagino just up ahead of us, and then XL Neo just up the road. Now, I think Neo started on the medium, so he'll be running maybe an extra 5-6 laps or something into this race. So it'll be interesting to see if we catch up to him. M Short obviously continued on for that one extra lap. Now, the big talking point, if you will direct your eyes to the top left of said screen, is Kagino's put the mediums on. Now, as soon as I saw that, that indicated to me that he is on a 2-stop, because I could not see it possible in any way, no matter how good your tyre saving skills were, that you could take mediums 21 laps around Azerbaijan. Like, even I think that's too much. But anyway, on to the start of lap number 8. M Short peeled in for what I think is that a set of mediums as well? I think it is. So both of our rivals going for the medium tyre. So they're obviously trying to take a little bit of a gamble, maybe hoping for a late race safety car. And well, personally, I'm hoping that doesn't happen, as I think I should be in a pretty good position come maybe 10 laps from now. But anyway, moving on to lap 11, you can see we've caught up to XL Neo here. And one thing which did catch my attention, as you can see, Neo peels into the pits here at the end of lap 11, so that releases us to try and chase after Kagino. But M Short, who is on the medium tyres, has not made any inroads into our gap that we have over him at all. If anything, we've actually pulled away. So kind of a similar story along with the first two rounds. M Short really strong in qualifying, but his race pace is just not quite there, it seems. But on to lap 13, I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was a front wing end plate. Kagino has hit the wall on the exit of turn 1. Just went in a little bit too deep from what I heard after the race, and has knocked the, I think it's right side end plate off. So he peels in for, what's that, surely another set of medium tyres, you would think, to take him to the end of this race. 13 laps to go. We've got a 2.5 second lead over M Short, so we're looking pretty good here at the moment to make a sizable inroads into the championship lead. Jesus Christ, as I say that, we nearly completely throw it away. And well, that was too close for comfort, and that's exactly going back to my point that I made at the start of the race. One small mistake, a little lapse in concentration, and that could be your chances of a win, a podium, or just a chance of a good result completely out the window. We got lucky there. We were just able to bring it back from the point or the point of disaster, excuse me. But anyway, we continued on for a few laps, and then on lap 21, now we have a safety car. We've gone 21 laps with 2 virtual safety cars. Everybody has somewhat managed to keep it clean, and now on lap 21 we have a safety car. So we're going to bring it in right here for a set of soft tyres. M Short and who is at a link, Creaser as well, are going to come in for a set of soft tyres. I would personally say everybody's going to pit right here for a set of softs, so if you choose to stay out, then you're probably going to get swallowed up, would be my guess. But anyway, doesn't look like anybody has done that, so we re-emerge on track in the lead. M Short will re-emerge behind us there in P2 with Creaser in P3. Creaser doing a very good job as well, it must be said here today. Has been right on the back of M Short basically since the pit stops. He hasn't got close enough to make a move, but he's kept it with the Williams very nicely. So a couple of people impressing here today, it must be said. Kigino and Creaser definitely have impressed me quite a bit here today. But anyway, on to the end of lap 23. Safety car is in, and the race has now been restarted. We get a very nice restart there actually, almost 7 tenths clear as we cross the line. So we caught M Short napping a little bit there. However, the gap immediately has come down through turn 1 there, now down to half a second. And at this point, I will admit, I was actually being a bit cautious because I wasn't sure how the car was going to react on these new soft tyres. Now, yes, obviously, new soft tyres, the end of the race, you would think, well, why don't you just go completely guns a-blazing for the final 2-3 laps? Well, I wanted to. Believe me, I wanted to. But the first stint had, it was still in the back of my mind, and I knew just how evil the car was at the start of the race, and I couldn't help but think, is it going to be like that again, or with a lighter fuel load, is the car actually going to behave itself? And after the first half a lap here, I can safely say it was a lot nicer than what it was at the start of the race. So obviously when the fuel load burned off, the car just became a lot nicer to drive. And as you can see, we're already basically a second clear. We get a warning for exceeding track limits. I think that's actually my second one on the Grand Prix. I think I actually got one on lap 4 or something from memory. So yeah, we're on 2 warnings now, so we've got to be a bit careful not to get another. But luckily, as you can see, we have just about got out of that 1 second window. M Short is just actually back within it, but I can say he has burnt literally all of his ARS to actually get back within the 1 second window of us, and we've got 60% of ARS and quite a lot of fuel. So at this point I was thinking, okay, I'll try and put in a blinder of a lap this time around to break that 1 second window, and then hopefully if we can manage that, then the final lap should be a little bit easier for us. But as we head around to the back end of the circuit on lap 25, as you can see quite clearly, that has not happened, and M Short is now only half a second behind, with Creaser only 3 tenths behind him. So once again, Creaser he's right there. He has been this whole race, just sitting behind and just waiting for an opportunity. And I think I know exactly what he's going to do here, but it will depend basically on whether we can break this 1 second window on this final lap, so we don't have to worry about a late DRS assault on the run up to the line from M Short. So we're going to try and break that 1 second window here on this final lap. As you can see, we've already got up to 9 tenths, so we are almost there. We just need a little bit more, and we should be home and dry. Now at this point I knew that as long as, or even, I couldn't even get my words out again, sorry. But anyway, I knew even if we couldn't break the 1 second window, as long as I could be 6 or more tenths clear out of the final corner, I was fairly confident that we should be safe and be able to win this race. So through the castle section for the 26th and final time, the gap hovering about 8/10, but just not quite there. I wanted to break the 1 second window, but unfortunately it's just not quite happened at the moment. But we fling it over the curve there, and luckily enough for us, M Short has actually gotten a very bad run through the final corner now, and I think it's about 9 turns, 9.5. And come on, there we go. It's just over 1 second, and I think the detection line is right around here somewhere. And there it was, and the gap is 1.1 seconds. So we have done the business here today for EML F1 round number 3. We're going to come across the line to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Fastest lap on the final lap as well. You love to see it. Get in there. Alright, so there we go guys, that's been today's video. EML F1, round number 3, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A somewhat uneventful race, obviously quite a few people missing from the grid today. I think the LR Invitational was on, so quite a few people were off doing that, but that is now finished, so hopefully next week for round 4. We'll have all the guys back and we can have an action-packed race for round 4. But hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all again very soon.